in African countries, security is one of the most important things when investors want to come into Africa. Star Radio UK, live from Westfield in Stratford. I'll come back again to you now in the studio, Mr. Archie. Yes, Stratford, is one of the, like we said, one of the most important part of, East Town. And likewise, we know the Westfield shopping mall, was actually, let's take you through a bit of the history of the Westfield. It was actually opened, some few years back now. And I mean, when I say few years back, it was actually opened just before, the Olympic. Remember that the Olympic was actually in this particular area, and that literally means that, this was a very busy ground, in preparing the 2012 London Olympic. So Westfield Stratford City was opened on the 13th of September 2011. And literally, it's got quite a lot of different, amenities in here. I'm literally very close to the food mall, which is very busy. We have the stores. We have almost all the stores here as well. But the question then is, what is the life here? Always remember that when you come out in this kind of environment, you must also have the money to spend, or you could just be doing the window shopping as well. But one thing we can say when it comes to the Westfield Stratford shopping mall is, there's about almost 70 different places to eat and drink. I mean, you can imagine the kind of staff that are working there. You can imagine the kind of logistics that goes in on a daily basis from Monday to Sunday. And that literally means that farmers are kept busy, and there will be also a lot of staff. Also, Westfield City is home to over 300 different brands. We talk about the Next, the Unique, River Island is there. On my other side there is Samsung. We have the cinema up there. We also have the casino for those that wants to do a bit of casino as well. Also, it also have 17 screen. If you want to have a nightlife for your family or your friends or loved ones, this is also one place to also look into. We have similar in Nigeria, but not up to the standard of what we have here. But one thing is, why is it that we cannot have 300 brands of different organization companies coming into Africa to invest? That is something that we have to discuss in the course of this program. But for now, I'll come back again to you in the studio. It is Star Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And we are live here in Stratford City, where the program is actually ongoing as I speak to you right now. Secretary of State, Anthony Blink. Well, on the 25th, which is just about 2 days ago, the United States Secretary of State, Anthony Blink, issued a visa restriction. He didn't tell us those that have already been affected, but we do know that he actually mentioned that, those that have been affected and the new ones that will be added should anybody want to disrupt, the upcoming election. And this is exactly what he said at about 16:48 on the 25th of January. To support Nigerians' upcoming election today, I am announcing visa restrictions for those involved in undermining democracy in Nigeria. The United States support Nigeria's aspiration to combat corruption and strengthen democracy and the rule of law. Quite a lot of people have already put comment under that as well. And one of those that put comment is Frank on the Twitter says, "Let me tell you, Blink, We will chase you out of social media, believe me. Your conspiracy against the indigenous people in Nigeria, just because of your selfish interests and Africa at large is over. Whatever evil you commit will be on you. Chineke Pogima. Also, Dr. Balawa. Thank you very much, Mr. Blinken. This is a bold step in partnering with Nigeria to strengthen democracy. Please also reconsider revoking the green card and the citizenship of those who fall under the fraud net of undermining democracy in Nigeria. This is Star Radio UK, and these are part of the engagement. Remember that last week, the European Union, Australia, and United Kingdom are very, very skeptical that the 2023 election might be inconclusive, especially because of the ongoing insurgency, the Fulani terrorism, and all the crises that is already pointing to a country that literally wants to survive or not. Well, the military disagree with that. The military believes that they can do support to INEC, the Nigerian Air Force, even though mistakenly, according to them, bombed over 100 innocent Nigeria, some few days ago. We were not here yesterday, but this happened, on Wednesday, Thursday, when over 100 innocent people were bombed mistakenly by the Nigerian Air Force, but they're also preparing. The military believes that, whatever is going to happen in the Southeast, even though there's a lot of messages now, campaigners, for the indigenous people, the right of the self-determination, saying that election is not going to hold in the Southeast and the Southwest. But the military believes that they can do whatever needs to be done to make sure election holds. But the international community are very, very skeptical. Let's take you back to 2019. We traveled down to Nigeria. We were on ground just a few days before the election. And on Saturday that the election was meant to hold, the federal government of Nigeria unplugged that, and that literally put a lot of international community asking the question, the legitimacy of what is going to be the outcome. Eventually, election went ahead, even though we saw the atrocity in Lagos State, we saw atrocity in most part of the country, but it's not as what is going to happen this time around. President Muhammadu Buhari has said that any Nigerians should vote for whoever they want. Tinubu is already crying out that the government that is in is trying to jeopardize his winning because of the petrol scarcity. The naira is coming up to up to the end of this month before you can exchange the 1,000, the 200, and the 500 naira. But the question then is, what is the preparedness of the international community and the engagement with Nigeria as the election is getting closer? All this is something that will have to be monitored, but definitely there will be inconclusive should the election not hold in some other part of the countries. But so many Nigerians are still struggling to get their PVC, especially in Lagos. We are not sure why, Lagos State is having a lot of problem getting PVC, and I believe the reason for that is there's also a kind of manipulation. When during the election time, we see every part of the PDP, the APC, but this time around, they have a third force, and the third force is Peter Obi, the Labour Party, and is giving the PDP and the APC their money for chase. There's about almost 24 million Nigerian students currently at school, and they are now saying that they need to let them, go back home. Schools need to close down right now to enable election to happen, but we are not sure whether that is going to happen before the 25th of February. But what we don't know is there's a lot of pressure now that the student must be allowed to vacate so that they can go pick up their PVC for those that have not done so. And for those that want to vote, they can be at their precise location where their local government and their polling unit will be held for the election. We do know that Tinubu is very bitter. He was in Ogun State, the southwest of Nigeria, some few days ago with his campaign, and he actually said a few things that a lot of Nigerians are now asking, and Tinubu was actually saying that it seems that the government is purposely allowing the fuel scarcity to go on, and that is going to cost his election winning. He's also saying that the Naira note that is coming into these change. Remember that the 1,000 Naira, the 500 Naira, and the 200 Naira note. A lot of Nigerians do not have access to that money. We have some of our team on the ground yesterday, asking questions. We did pass by, and a lot of them do not have access to this current note. But it also seems that the news coming out is also filtering from one person that the APC believe is a mole. She was part of the Najatu, she's called, and she's been giving a lot of headache, to the campaign of the Tinubu team, because she actually says that Tinubu is not fit. But not only that, she's also pointing finger that the vice president, the presidential vice president of the APC, Shetima, was one time also where one of the terrorists that was being looked for was found in his own particular premises during that period of time. The PDP are taking advantage of that, but also there's also the bullion van. I remember that in 2019 we saw the bullion van going into Tinubu's house, and Tinubu campaign team are saying that the bullion van actually the misroad by finding itself at Tinubu's house. There is a lot going on, but let's take a look back at the Shetima sponsor terrorism, according to the ex-Tinubu aides. According to the former director of the Presidential Campaign Council of the ruling Progressive Congress, Ajia Najatu Mohammed, has fired a former party alleging that it is the vice president candidate Kashima Shettima is the sponsor of terrorism in Nigeria. Could that be then that what the late Dr. Malafia was telling us, that there is a governor that sponsored terrorism? Remember that Shettima was one time a governor of Borno State, and under his nose, so many children were kidnapped that led to bring back our girls. Again, Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio for more updates coming from Nigeria. But right now, we're live in Stratford, where it is so very busy. I can see, as usual, security, very, very important. More people getting a bit of meal. It's coming up to lunchtime, so you could expect that people will start having something to eat. The question is, why can't we have 300 brands moving into Nigeria today to explore the market that would have been an opportunity for them? I guess if somebody's sponsoring terrorism, no brands want to put their money into where they cannot recoup the money back. Well, remember that she was one time the campaign director. She's not just accusing Tinubu, she's also accusing the former president, Muhammadu Buhari. I mean, well, he's not former, he's almost formal anyway. That Buhari also does not have the capacity. And that means that she would not be supporting somebody like Tinubu, just as they gave support to Buhari in 2015, which eventually led to the failure of President Muhammadu Buhari from performing. She believed that she had engagement with Tinubu, even though Tinubu campaign team have actually come out to say that she's actually bitter and she's not worth listening to. Do we believe that? We will have to wait and see if that is the reality on the ground. But what we can say is that Tinubu believes, the party campaign believes that she's a mole that was sent into the party. But she said that she had conversation with Tinubu, and in that 2 hours, Tinubu could not even respond. And that believes that she's not going to be part of those that wants to bring somebody that is not capable. And in her word, she said that Tinubu is the devil that cannot be allowed to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Well, once again, a very good morning to those of you that have joined us. And as we continue with the update, there's quite a lot of discussion going on in Nigeria. And one of those discussions is, as the election is getting closer, are we going to see a conclusive election? Are we going to see a conclusive result? All these are the questions on the table. The most important that is getting a bit of concern to so many Nigerians today is the naira, that in the next few days, I mean, today's the 27th, so we're looking at about another 3 days. The CBN has refused to back down, in terms of, whether, they should extend the timing, so that more people can get access to the new naira note, even though, the naira itself is not available. Also, churches, are also putting the pressure on the CBN governor Emefiele to do the needful as well. Likewise, as the fuel scarcity is one of the biggest threats, in Nigeria today. I mean, the per liter is going to almost 500 naira in the black market, and if you're lucky, to get one from the petrol station, you would have to queue overnight. All these are bringing a lot of concern, to so many Nigerians. But the problem is election going to take place is the question that also so many people are asking. One thing we can also say is that, more diaspora are also, telling their loved ones as the election is getting closer to avoid that election. And the reason for that is, there's a lot of intelligent report, going around that, there will be so much violence, during the election, and it is not worth being part of that. So all this is what is going on presently in Nigeria. But I'm going to come back again to you in the studio while we get, one of our devices currently down. We're trying to get it connected. But for now, I was listening to you before I came on the air when you were talking about Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer. Yes, I saw that news last week. He's actually saying that none of the three candidates is really talking about Nnamdi Kanu in terms of, Nnamdi Kanu, being either guarantee a kind of a release. We know that, the governor of Anambra State, Soludo, has said that he will stand for Nnamdi Kanu. We are not sure whether that is allowed under the law, but what we can say is, one of the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu is saying that there is not much being said to guarantee that Nnamdi Kanu will get his freedom from any of the three candidates. We do know that Sowore have also said that he will have engagement and dialogue with the Biafra and the Oduduwa, the Yorubas. But Kola Abiola, one of the contestants, says he's going to be dealing with both Biafra and likewise the Yoruba, just as he's going to be dealing with the Boko Haram. Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio. Well, I mean, this is going to be a very decisive time, especially, now that we have three contenders that are very strong. I mean, as much as we might say that the APC has the structure, the PDP has the structure, we're not sure whether Peter Obi has the structure, but he has the crowd behind him. And that is something that is giving a lot of concern, to the rest of the political parties. So should we now go into an inconclusive result, then it will now determine by how many votes and then how many, polling unit and all sorts. And as we cannot really be sure what will be the outcome, but what I can say is, this is going to be a different, thing entirely from what we have witnessed since 1999 when Nigeria, after all the atrocities that took place just after the 1993 election. That was the freest election, but that was annulled, by the Kaba in the Fulani sector. But what we know is in 1998, there was a lot of problems after the late MKO Abiola died. People thought the country was going into the breakuppers at that time, but some cabals were very smart. They brought out Obasanjo from the prison and gave Obasanjo, the opportunity under the PDP to become the president. Obasanjo contested with Olufalaye, the AD, but Obasanjo eventually won. So this time around, we have never seen this kind of, disunity in Nigeria. We have Atiku from the northern part of the country contesting under the PDP. We have Peter Obi contesting as the Labour Party coming from the southeast. We have Bola Tinubu as a Yoruba person coming from the southwest. Even though every single one of them believe that the unity of Nigeria is something that they can rebuild, how they're going to do so is something that we have to continue to look about. Yes, the other device is up and running. And just before we come back, mega churches and schools have now barred the old Naira note payment for offering. So if you are going to your church from next week, please make sure you're not giving the old 1,000 Naira and the old 500 Naira note and the old 200 Naira note as well. According to according to the information we have, ahead of the January 31st deadline that is coming up anytime soon, churches, according to the deadline set by the Central Bank of Nigeria for phasing out of the 1,000 Naira, the 500 Naira, the 200 Naira note, some of the mega churches, schools, retailers have now set time limit for collection of the old currency. Is this going to work? There is fire on the mountain as there's a lot happening. But Buhari was almost stoned as he was getting to Castina yesterday. We cannot talk about that. Yes, there's a lot of people that were actually stoning the presidential vehicle, and this is his hometown. Definitely there's fire on the mountain. Wow. Breaking news is coming. Tribunal announce Adeleke victory as declare Oyetola as the new governor again in Osun State. Quite a lot is going on in Nigeria. Remember that Adeleke is the dancing senator. I'm not sure whether you've come across one of his videos. He loves to dance, each time he's there, he's dancing. But it seems that it's not going as planned as, the breaking news coming on the wire this morning. The Election Petition Tribunal hearing APC and Adegboyega Oyetola's petition against the victory of the PDP Ademola Adeleke on Friday has annulled the result of the July 16 Osun State governorship poll. Justice Tessie Kumi, while delivering a majority decision, declared that INEC did not comply substantially with the Constitution and the provisions of the Electoral Act. He subsequently deducted the overvoting observer from the vote score by the candidate and has now declared that Oyetola won the election, having polled 314,921, while Adeleke's score came down by 290 to 266. So you can see that there's nothing that cannot happen when it comes to Nigeria. So there's currently tight security as I speak to you right now in Osun State. We don't know what is going to be the response of the governor that has been already parading himself as a governor. He will have no other option than to also appeal it. But that is the current news coming out of Nigeria as I speak to you right now. Also, lawmaker tackles Taraba government over APC members' arrest is coming from one of the headlines as well. Not a very good news as well from the northern part of Nigeria today. Nasarawa State governor lost his son. Hassan is coming from the headline. According to the governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, has lost his son Hassan Sule. May he so rest in peace. It was gathered that the governor's son died in Lafia in the late hours of Thursday, January 26, yesterday. The deceased, who got married to his first wife, Ajia Sule, in June last year, was the governor's elder son, at the age of 36. This was contained in a statement made available to newsmen in Lafia on Friday by the governor's chief press secretary, Ibrahim Adara. The statement read, and I quote, "His Excellency Abdullahi A. Sule, the governor of Nasarawa State, and on behalf of his family, announces the sudden loss of his son, the first son, Hassan Sule, whose sadly event occurred yesterday at the age of 36. May so rest in peace." We're going to take one more because, as we said, like I said, it's still very busy down here. I can see more people going into the theater upstairs. I can see more food being served there. So let me quickly look at something similar to here in Nigeria. We have the ShopRite. The ShopRite is a very, very small shopping mall. It has a cinema, it has a lot of lifestyle, but the question is, do we have a replica of such in all the states across Nigeria? Probably not. I was actually asking, this morning before getting into Stratford, that do we have Airbnb running across Nigeria? And I've been told no. The reason for that is the insecurity in Nigeria would not allow such. The technology is not there yet. And like I say here in the Stratford, if you're, we have about a couple of devices here, and each of these devices has been connected to the free Wi-Fi hotspot here in the Westfield, where we are currently communicating back to the studio. A lot of Nigerians do not have access to the basic things of life. More Nigerians are suffering, for access to data in terms of communication to see what is going on around the world. I am not sure, but I can confirm that in as much as I have been to ShopRite, we could not get free access to the internet for the period of time I was there when I was in Nigeria some few years. The United Nations, the IPG envoys, warns against election rigging and violence in Nigeria. It seems now that United Nations is also now concerned about the upcoming election in Nigeria. We cannot allow the most populous black nation in the world and the largest in Africa slip into electoral crisis or violence. So it seems now that the UN is sure that there will be violence in Nigeria, and they are saying already that they cannot allow that. Chimbo Obieze of the United Nations International Peace and Governance Council has tasked political party candidates to focus on issues-based campaign meant to benefit the electorate and generality of Nigerians. Mr. Obieze, the UNIPGC Special Envoy on Sustainable Peace and Education and the chairman of the International Human Rights, which will be talking about the release of Nnamdi Kanu and a lot of the Biafrans that have been held by the custody of the DSS. The UN have talked about it, but the Nigerian government refused to obey the rule of law. On Thursday, in Accra has asked election stakeholders, especially candidates and political parties, to ensure issue-based campaign rather than campaign of hate. We also can confirm that the PDP governorship candidate also died yesterday. We were not here yesterday, but he also died in Abuja at about almost 4:25 a.m. He was here in UK for medical treatment, and unfortunately, he died of heart attack, according to the news that we got. All this is still part of what is going on in Nigeria. We're going to take one more headline, come back again straight into the social media. But for now, it seems that missing Kaduna girl who hears voices at night has been found in Maiduguri. APC, a very deceitful, abandoned restructuring. I will restructure Nigeria, Atiku. I'm not sure how Atiku Abubakar of the PDP wants to restructure Nigeria. Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Nigeria's current political process will produce wrong leaders and more corruption. Guess who? The former president of Federal Republic of Nigeria that came through with a fraudulent 1999 constitution. I'm talking about the one and only Obasanjo. It is possible to declare that ways in which we have practiced our democracy have deepened contradictions, negative coalition, distrust, disloyalty, unpatriotic tendency. All this was said when Obasanjo was attending an event yesterday in Port Harcourt. Once again, as we're going into the weekend, there's still a lot to discuss. I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie. Well, Simon Ekpa, the spokesperson and the spokesman for the Biafra, is always, being targeted either through individuals or groups of people. Yes, you are quite right. If $50,000 was put on him, for anyone, maybe they find him, I don't know. But one thing is, what could be the reason that, Simon Ekpa is a concern to a lot of, Biafra or the government? It's just the same way that Chief Sunday Igboho is a concern to the Yoruba people and likewise the federal government. I was listening to Chief Sunday Igboho, Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, one of his videos that he produced some few years before even the agitation, and he says that part of what is happening in the Northeast, where terrorism is flourishing, should such happen in the Southwest, there will be armor tank of Nigerian soldier coming down. What is Simon Ekpa fighting for? Simon Ekpa is fighting for, the Biafra agitation and under the United Nations Charter and the African Union Charter, and likewise under the European Union. He's currently not in Nigeria, he's outside Nigeria, but as his message continues to be delivered onto a lot of Nigerians, that is a lot of concern. Last year, we saw the Nigerian Minister for Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, was actually advising Google to remove all the videos produced by Simon Ekpa on YouTube. Google hasn't done so, but we do know that most of the time Simon Ekpa is being targeted, just as Babaki Toye has been targeted, for a lot of things that is happening in Nigeria. The reason why that is happening also is the federal government believes that some of the carnage and atrocity going on in the Southeast is being sponsored by those outside the country, and they're pointing finger to somebody like Simon Ekpa, even though the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, has accused the opposition of those creating this carnage of the INEC destruction and the insecurity in the southeast part of Nigeria today. Well, let's be honest, there's one rule for one person and there's another rule for somebody else. I mean, when you talk about somebody like Shetima, it's just one rule that is under the APC, and I don't think any of the security or the DSS will do anything in terms of, making any effort, to curb, this allegation or investigate it. Remember that Shetima is part of the ruling party. Shetima is the vice presidential candidate of the APC. He was a one-time governor, and under his nose, children were kidnapped, known as the Bring Back Our Girls. Some were rescued, and we still have about a couple of them that are still in the hands of the Boko Haram terrorists. Also, one has given birth to a baby boy, I believe, last year, if not, Lil Shaibu. The question then is, why is it that, the DSS, has everything, to pinpoint, some of the Biafrans that are agitating either online or offline, but they have not been able to go after what Najatu Mohammed, a former director campaign of the APC, pointing finger that Shetima is one that sponsors terrorism in Nigeria. Emefiele. Well, the social media is the last hope for the average man in Nigeria today. And as we are going away for the weekend, may Nigeria not happen to any one of us. Let us remain very vigilant. There is still a lot of criminality, of terrorism happening in across every part of Nigeria. So if you're traveling over this weekend, you move it at the right time, but make sure that you also have enough battery on your phone in case there's an emergency, and you can be able to send an SOS to somebody out there. We will monitor all the situation over the weekend, and by the time we are back on Star Radio UK on Monday, we'll be giving you everything that you need to know. But for those that are back home, this is part of what we are saying, that it's a small world, but one thing is, it is well organized. There's a lot of people that are working in these complex, and they are also taking on money after the end of the month or weekly. And this is exactly why, if you still believe that Nigeria will work, the question is how? Is it based on the 1999 Constitution, or is it based on bringing the unity, which will definitely work should we have our own separate country? My name is Olami Koiki on Star Radio UK today from Stratford. I will be back again from a different location on Monday. I will hand it over back to you, to Archie, to take you to the rest of the program. But for now, have a great weekend, but make sure that you stay tuned to Star Radio UK, because over the weekend, we have everything it takes from tonight up to Sunday, where we're going to be having more program on Sunday. I will be back again on Monday morning, God's willing. Bye for now. Well, Orile-Ede means my own nation. So, the word Orile-Ede, my nation. Orile-Ede means, she's actually talking about a nation, and a lot of people have asked the question, is Nigeria a country? We've not been able to find a professor to define what is a country in Nigeria, because what we know is a country is where you speak your own language. But in Nigeria, we have 300 ethnic groups speaking one common language, which was forced on us, which is English. And I was making my way out on the public transport. The two females sitting next to me were speaking language I don't even understand. That means they are from Orile-Ede. And the other person behind me, I'm sure, was from Ashanti in Ghana, because I could hear the language. But today in Nigeria, Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, speaking the same language? No. So Janet is actually talking about Orile-Ede, which is my nation. Bye for now. Bye for now. Well, ṣẹ̀rí ayé kan ló wà. Ayé tó dẹ̀ wà yẹn wàláì. Tí àwọn olóṣèlú bá ń sọ fún ẹ pé Nàìjíríà máa ṣiṣẹ́, wàláì, irọ́ ló bá dé. Ṣorí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì mo fi operate, fóònù mẹ́ta ni mò ń lò. I hope you can all see it. You can see each other. You can see it, right? Ṣorí gbogbo fóònù tí mò ń lò yìí níbí báyìí so far is connected free. Mo sanwó kankan báyìí because it's a free connection. So when we talk about Nigeria is not working, a lot of you disagree, you keep talking, Nigeria máa ṣiṣẹ́, blah, 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 blah. But everybody knows that the country is not going to work. But because we have been told lies, Mori Yami, Jakulu Shola, my brother, I cite you there, Lanrewajarolo. I'm actually in Stratford. I'll be heading out now. 300 brands. Ló wà ní bíbá. Oríṣiríṣi ilé lóúnjẹ. Ẹ má bínú, I might not be able to show much, but at least you can understand why some of us are angry, upset. Pé báwo la ṣe máa wà nílùú òyìnbó, ìlú onílùú, a ṣe program yẹn díẹ̀ ká tó máa lọ. Tí à ń survive in the midst of the weather, aṣọ bíi mélòó la wọ̀ àbáwọ̀ ilé, àwọ̀ tá máa wẹ̀ àtúwọ̀ ilé torí òtútù. But àwọn tó wà lé, wọ́n ní no, Nàìjíríà máa ṣiṣẹ́, pé ká kọ̀ ṣe sùúrù ni, pé Nàìjíríà máa ṣiṣẹ́, Mr. Koiki ló máa ṣiṣẹ́. But everybody knows it's a lie. Complete lie. Nigeria ò lè ṣiṣẹ́. So now don't design Nigeria. What design Nigeria kò má ṣiṣẹ́? That is the purpose tó ṣe design Nigeria. Kò sépo, kò sówó nínú cash machine. Àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yé nísìn. Olúkálukú wa ń jìyà. Irú ayé wo nìyẹn? Ṣé ayé náà nìyẹn ṣá? Bọ̀tà bá sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ máa ní pé ká shut up. Shut up, Mr. Koiki. How can you live in London and be saying Nigeria is not working? Ṣé Nigeria ṣiṣẹ́ ni? Ṣé Nigeria ṣiṣẹ́? Smile. Ṣé Nigeria ṣiṣẹ́? Bàbá mi Sulaiman. Ṣé láfíà? So, one thing is, don't be deceived. The country needs to collapse. Tí Nigeria bá collapse, it's not going to be the end of the world. Mr. Kayode Eshigoni. Mr. Joseph, wọ́n ní kémi wá sí Nàìjíríà káwọn máa bọ̀ ní UK. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kẹrí bí sàgbàlagbára Ọlọ́run. Sọ́pà mi. Bọ̀ èmi ò wá Nàìjíríà o. So ibi tèmi wà ẹ yẹ kí n máa bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jà. Torí pé Nàìjíríà kan ni mò ń gbé tẹ́lẹ̀. It's a good one. But tá a bá ti fọ́ Nàìjíríà ká pín sí wẹ́wẹ́ màmá bọ̀ ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Thanks, Mr. Koiki. Spending a lot of time. Please continue. Yeah, we must continue to preach to our people that I think the problem is a lot of people, because they have access to communication, the internet. So, ó ń fún yín ní a bit of pé Nàìjíríà máa da níjọ́ kan, Nàìjíríà máa ṣiṣẹ́ níjọ́ kan, níjọ́ wo gangan. And when exactly is it going to work? Right? When there's no freedom. Ìlú tó bá dẹ̀ ti sí freedom, it is not going to work. Ẹ ṣe Roots. But everybody thinks that it's going to happen, tí Tinubu bá débẹ̀, olúkálùkù máa jẹun sókè jẹun sílẹ̀. Some people will become rich and some people will become poor. Àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yẹn nísìn. Àwọn ọ̀dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí a wà nínú society débi pé àwọn kan máa gbádùn, àwọn kan ò ní gbádùn. That is not good. Àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yẹn nísìn. We want a society where everybody will be respected. But today, nobody is respecting you. Eshe Baba mi Simon Adebisi, Nigeria for scarcity dooming health sector. So why are we deceiving ourselves? Why are we pretending that it's going to work? Enter Walori Koikimedia. And we can like in that call. So ẹ jẹ́ ká end the broadcast late. Join in Koikimedia or Koikimedia on our page. But let me stop this one. Ká gba call díẹ̀. I can still spend about another maximum less than an hour. Because mo fi máa tètè move torí àwọn ọmọ school kó tó di kó máa jáde. So let's hear from our callers. I would have loved to start. Mo mọ̀ pé fóònù yìí pé mi ò charge ẹ̀ láàárọ̀ ẹ̀. Ó dùn mí gan ṣá. So it's completely dead. It would have given us a spare hand. Mo rò pé mo charge ẹ̀ ni, but I didn't charge it yesterday. Wọ́n ti lé bàbá Uncle Davido lọ, according to the tribunal. So let me end this one, and then we'll take a couple of calls for those that wants to add their own input, and we can then, end the broadcast. My name is Olami Koiki, and like I always say, it is only one life. Don't be deceived that your life will get better in Nigeria. It's not. Thank you so much. The studio number is +447404405917. Support the platform. We have the Koikimedia team that will be traveling again tomorrow. Latilo Sheti Yawa Yeyelufe. We keep spending money, and it's your support that keeps us going. So and we take care of our team very well. Àwọn kan láti travel lẹ́ni nísìn because ibẹ̀ yẹn jìn sí location wọn, so kọ́lọ̀ kó bá wa tẹ́ wọn sáfẹ́fẹ́ rẹ̀. So I'm going to end this one, join the other broadcast that is going on the other side. So let's take a couple of calls. Let's take our calls and hear from our listeners. Emma Bino, I cannot show the camera around, but at least you can enjoy the conversation with me. Ẹni bá fẹ́ pè, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ látọ̀dọ̀ yín, ẹ bá fi nọ́mbà yẹn náà sórí YouTube, the backend team. Mo wà lórí live, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Mo ìtẹ́jú gbọ́ audio ẹ̀. Ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ nílẹ̀ máa move, bẹ́ẹ̀ nílẹ̀ ńlẹ̀, máa gẹ́ máa update yín, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? No, kí ni ẹ̀ náà máa sọ̀rọ̀ ń gbọ́. Okay. Alright, okay, ó súnmọ́ wọ̀. Náà tẹ bá fẹ́ lọ léèní ẹ lọ léèní, ló tẹ fẹ́ lọ lọ́la nígbà tó bá jì, at least I save me anytime. Màá get back sí get to take off. Alright, okay. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí níbi tí ẹ ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. So the line is open. Let me just start my Instagram. Ẹ mọ̀ pé oríṣiríṣi platform láti máa stream. And Instagram is also one platform that we have a lot of. So ẹni wá fẹ́ dá sí ká gbọ́ra wa. I can just turn the camera briefly. At least you can have an idea. You can see. At least you have an idea. So at least. So but in tí à ń sọ fún èèyàn wa ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń tán ilé náà. Ṣẹ̀rí bó ṣe rí. So ṣẹ̀rí bó ṣe beautiful. Right? So gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń wò wá kò sí nǹkan tó special ní UK ju pé wọ́n wà organized. Tó bá ń sọ pé ìlú tó wà organized jù lágbàáyé tó dẹ̀ ní tán pè ní PR ẹ̀ lè beat UK. UK is very, very organized. In timing, very, very organized. I've lived with them for 24 years. And if you talk about a country that's also, in as much as they have their own, but what you are very, very flexible. No, sorry, àti gbé nílùú mi ìfẹ́ mi, ó máa difficult díẹ̀. Torí pé UK wọ́n mọ̀ tán pè ní rule of law, but àwọn ló dá problem sílẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà, but Nàìjíríà ò ní rule of law. Because tó bá yẹ pé Nàìjíríà ní rule of law ni ó yẹ kó ti release Nnamdi Kanu. Ẹ máa bọ́ ṣe máa sáré ṣe màgàdó nísìn APC àti PDP Ọ̀ṣun state, ẹ̀rí bọ́ ṣe máa sáré ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ nísìn tó máa fẹ́ gbé oyè Gbóyèga àbí whatever Oyètọ́lá or whatever they're called. But look at the situation with Nnamdi Kanu. If we have the law that is working, Nnamdi Kanu should have been released today. Ìjáyà ẹ̀gbọ́n mi mọ̀ pé wà ń bẹ̀ àjọmọ́ campaign in Stratford nígbà yẹn ni. UK is consistent. Wọ́n ní tiwọn lọ́wọ́, but wọ́n ní choice mọ́ irú gbogbo àwa ṣẹ́rí gbogbo táwọn ṣe wọ́n ní choice ní wọ́n láti accommodate it. And this is what Nigeria does not want to accommodate. And that is meant to be our own country. Nigeria does not want to accommodate exactly what we're doing right now. A lot of you that keep saying, UK government, no. UK government does not do that. We don't operate there. UK government looks and asks, okay, kí ni Koiki pariwo fún? Sọ̀rọ̀ terrorism ló máa ń sọ ni. No, kò ń ṣe terrorism. In tó ń sọ ni pé àwọn èèyàn ẹ̀ ìran ẹ̀ wọ́n cheat wọ́n rẹ́ wa jẹ. Ṣó wá dàbọ̀ ṣe ń rẹ́ wa jẹ? And UK is sustainable. Tó o bá ti kọjá àyè rẹ̀, aláwọn criminals náà ní bíbá yìí mo ṣeré o, aláwọn tó ń ta drug, aláwọn tó ń ta cocaine, aláwọn tó ń ṣe firearms nílùú yìí ó wà ó. But tó o bá ti kọjá àyà rẹ̀, you can live here for the next 50 years. Whether oníwèé àbó oníwèé. Benny, you're right, Henry Jackson. UK is organized, but they don't want Nigeria to get organized. Àwọn olórí burúkú. Not their citizen. We don't have any problem with the UK citizen because they are not the cause of this problem. It is this institution that set up and created Nigeria is the one that we are fighting. So, and if we are now saying to the UK government, look, you have amalgamated us and it has failed. Nigeria is not what it's meant to be. We were a kingdom before, so why should we squeeze to remain in Nigeria if we are kingdom? I have lived here for 24 years. In that 24 years, I have done my best. I have worked hard. And I was respected. But how can somebody born in Nigeria, taking the citizenship of Nigeria, is not respected? Moriembe Aziz, that's Miami. Àwọn kan wà níbà níwájú mi nísìn bí alára àwọn tó máa ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní gbogbo surroundings kọ́ wá jẹun. So, and ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé tí politician fún yín ní impression pé things will become better. The politician knows that things cannot get better. Ìdí tí kò lè get better ni pé they have projected Nigeria in a way that àwọn kan ní agbára ju àwọn kan lọ. As I sit here now, I know the law, the ethics. Tí màá tẹ̀ mọ́ gbogbo law, but èmi náà mọ law tó bind me. But in Nigeria today, since 1999, they are using àtẹ̀wárí call àdẹ̀típa broadcast. So maybe nobody wants to call, so let me just kick the broadcast back on again. So bí a kà máa gbà call ká kà máa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ, ẹ má bínú. Because it's good to carry a lot of people along. I am not upset pẹ̀lú ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń support APC. No, we are not upset with you. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n dúró kí n máa ṣe analysis mi, lecture ni mo ṣe fún ilé ni. We are not upset with you. But what we are saying is the reality, the real reality that Nigeria is going to work. Ta ló ń pè sí bíbá yìí nísìnyí, my block number yìí. Tabata ní kẹ́ pé gan ṣe ní pé studio number. Àbúrò mi yìí nísìn. The reality tó wà lẹ́nu pé everybody is waiting for a kind of miracle. Àbúrò mi yìí nísìn. Mo fẹ́ mú ẹrù tí máa ń dì káàkiri wàláì. Ìjẹ̀bú kan ẹrù ẹ̀ púpọ̀ ni. Wọ́n á máa wá nǹkan bí àwọn obìnrin tó máa ń fún ìjọba ní báàgì. Ó ní kankan tí mò ń wá ni. Once again, mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Nigeria is not a country. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ sí náà sọ́pọ́tì one Nigeria. I can only pity you. Àbúrò mi yìí nísìn. Mo wá kí n fẹ́ wá kiri tẹ́lẹ̀ mi. Ọ̀gbọ̀n tí mo fi sí jámọ̀ mi kúrò nílẹ̀. So, wọ́n ṣe ń sọ lọ fẹ́yìn yan wa. Lecture room la wà yìí. Ká ṣe lecture fún 1 hour ká tó máa lọ. Báwo ni UK ṣe lè wà organized? America wà organized. Kí ló dé tó ṣe ń wà organized? Identity. Màá block ẹni tó ń pè. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin wa. Ọmọ yẹn kàn disturb. Ẹ má bínú. Fi tiẹ̀ disturb lọ. Ẹ má bínú àti block ẹni yẹn. Àbúrò mi yẹn nísìn. Why is Europe organized? The reason why they are organized is wọ́n mọ gbogbo àwọn tó ń gbé nílùú wọn. Kò sẹ́ni tó ń gbé ní UK. Ìyàgbé lè báyìí. Ó lè fún wa ní big view lẹ́yìn. Kò sẹ́ni tó ń gbé ní UK tí UK government ò mọbi tó wà. Àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yóò ní sí ẹ má bínú wọn. ẹ má pè sórí ẹ má disturb ọ̀sán wà lórí live show àbáṣe fún àárọ̀ block yìí padà ní àwọn kan má pè mí nísìn ní busy à ń ṣe analysis lọ́wọ́. Kí ló dé tí mo rí mass burial báwo ni kúṣẹ́? Kí nìdí tí Europe tó ṣe wà organized? One of the reasons tó ṣe wà organized ni pé there is rule of law, but kí rule of law tó wáyé identity. Okay, ta ló lè confirm pé gbogbo ẹni tẹjọ́ ń gbé ládùúgbò ó mọ̀ wọ́n, àbí local government chairman ó mọ̀ wọ́n, àbí council mọ̀ wọ́n? Ní gbogbo ìlú ìbò ṣe tóbi tó yìí, bí ìlú ìṣe tóbi tó yìí látòkè délẹ̀, kò sí. UK is systematic nation and Nigeria is a country of killers. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìjáyà my brother ohun yẹn nìyẹn. UK ní system, America ní system. Ìdí tí gbogbo system yẹn tó ṣe ni pé wọ́n mọ iye èèyàn tó ń gbé nílùú wọn. As an example, nígbà tẹ́mi fẹ́ dé ní 1998 mo lọ gba visa àbí nígbà tí mo wá dé mo ní mo lọ mọ́. Tí bá wà nínú system yìí láti gbà yẹn, as an example ni o, ẹ follow mi dáadáa o, torí ṣẹ́rẹ́ àwọn ọmọ Nìjẹ́ tó ń wọlé yẹn tí àwọn ọmọ ibi tó ti wá ṣe mọ̀ pé mi gba visa nígbà tí mi fi wá sí UK, but ẹni tó jọ ọmọ Nìjẹ́ tó ń bọ̀ òun ò gba visa, ó kàn wọ mọ́tò láti ibìkan síbìkan láti ibìkan síbìkan, ó land. Nígbà tó dẹ̀ land ó wọ trailer láti north wọ́n dẹ̀ já sí Ogun State. Níbo la mọ̀ tó fẹ́ gbé, irú èèyàn wo la mọ̀ tó jẹ́? But nígbà tẹ́mi dé, tó bá jẹ́ pé mò ń gbé nílùú yìí as an illegal immigrant láti 1998, ṣe fi pé mi àtọlọ́pàá àti níjọ́ pàdé níjọ́ kan tó máa béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi. But Nigeria lẹ́ni nísìn kò sí track record of who is who, àmọ́ who is who. Everybody is just in out. So every day people are coming into Nigeria and we don't have their real identity. And a country tó bá ti ní identity àwọn tó ń jọ ń gbé, then there is a danger. So why you are now expecting all these 300 brands, there's about 300 brands tó wà ní bíbá, you are now expecting them kó wá invest sí Nigeria? How? Báwo ló ṣe expect pé next market wà fún wọn ní Nigeria, but Nigeria kò ní identity, kò ní identification, kò ń ṣe àwa indigenous ni mo sọ nísìnyí o. We do not, nítorí àwọn kan bá léra wọn kọ́ bára wọn jà ní wọ́n máa para wọn ní sẹ́ẹ̀. Mo ti rí news yẹn, tribunal Adeleke wọn náà ti sákẹ̀ kọ́ para wọn. One thing I can say to our people is àwa la nífẹ̀ẹ́ yín jù. We love you more than the fake politicians. Your politicians do not have any respect. Wọ́n ní iota of respect fún yín. Politician Nigeria ló máa dé níbí báyìí nísìn, ó máa di ọ̀dẹ̀. Tó bá wọn pàdé ní wọ́n wá síbà yìí wọ́n máa wá rajà. Ẹ wo ọmọ Haúsá, ọmọ gọ́vnà yẹn, former governor of Zamfara. Ṣèbí gbogbo ilẹ̀ rí fídíò ẹ̀, gbogbo ibi tó ti máa ń ṣe shopping lélẹ̀. Wọ́n ti láwọn tó ń bá wọn ṣe shopping. Àwọn tó máa ń bá wọn ṣe shopping wọ́n ti ní wọn. Wọ́n máa ń pè wọ́n ní kí lórúkọ tó máa ń pè àwọn tó máa ń bá yàn ṣe shopping yẹn. Ìyàwó mi dẹ̀ máa ń rán mi létí bá mi gbàgbé. Àwọn tó máa ń bá àwọn kan wà iṣẹ́ tó máa ń ṣe nìyẹn o. Wọ́n ní woman kan wà ní UK, ẹ rán mi létí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá mọ orúkọ tó máa ń pè wọ́n. Àwọn máa ń bá yàn ṣe shopping, ìwọ tó bá lè wá sí London, so wọ́n máa gba order yẹn wá bẹ lọ ṣe shopping yẹn. And every ọmọ Nigerian ló ní talent, but the talent is not working because personal shopper, thank you so much, they can be called personal shopper. So personal shopper nísìn ọmọ Mala tó wà nílé ìfowá sí London because weather is cold, èmi lèmi wà London, but ọmọ Mala ẹ̀ka sàn yàwá Bọ́láńlé, I send the £10,000. Look, £10,000 to an average politician is chicken change. And I'm not joking. 10,000 pounds is about roughly, owó is 920 láàárọ̀. So 10,000 pounds is about, that's also 10 million naira. These are chicken change. And they will send the money to UK. A personal shopper goes into the store. Amamu gbogbo ẹ̀, àti sanko tó fẹ́ o, ọtí mọ́tò, gbogbo ọlọ́mọ tó fẹ́ o. Gbogbo àwọn báàgì ńláńlá tó jẹ́ pé báàgì olówó 35. Èmi kàn sọ ni o, ó ju 10,000 pounds lọ. But one thing is, how many people are benefiting from that country called Nigeria? How many of you? You keep saying, Koiki is a system. UK was not built in one day. We understand. But how long do we have to stay together before Nigeria will be better? Is the question. I don't interact with it. I cannot take calls anymore. I might be doing it. How long do we need to stay together? Most of them would like to plantain crisps. Kò ṣe pé mo kò lówó ẹ̀. Àwọn tó ń ṣe plantain crisps kò ń ṣe ní Nàìjíríà ló ti ń ṣe. Ẹ jẹ́ ìwé ibi tó ti ń ṣe, mò ń bọ̀. Wọ́n tẹ̀ sọ ibi tó ti ń ṣe. But kò ń ṣe ní Nàìjíríà ló ti ń ṣe. Because I know. Olu food. Onírọ́ ló máa sọ pé ẹ jẹ́ ń tán kámẹ́rà yẹn kẹlẹ̀ rí dáadáa. Màá ṣe lẹ́yìn kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ṣẹ́rí bí tó ti ń produce ẹ̀. Colombia ni wọ́n ti ń ṣe plantain cakes yìí. Colombia. Ṣẹ́rí náà. A Nigerian business ó ń gbé business lọ sí Colombia láti lọ ṣe plantain cakes. This is Colombia. Can you see it? Ẹ jẹ́ ká mú the next phone jáde ẹni sọ̀rọ̀. Cherry, Colombia. So this plantain crisps is coming all the way from Colombia. Ẹ jẹ́ àtàn kámẹ́rà ilé náà. Ó mà ṣe. Ẹ wò ná. Colombia. Ẹ mọ̀ pé mi máa sọ̀rọ̀, mo máa mú evidence wá. Mo sọ fún yín pé I was one time the ambassador of this product. Cherry, Colombia. So the question we should now ask ourselves is, kí ló dé tí product yìí ṣé níbi tí a ti lè gbin ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà? Ìbéèrè ni o, I'm asking you, ṣé níbi tí a ti lè gbin ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ because ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ ló fi ń ṣe kínní? Why do you think that this product is done in Colombia and not in Nigeria? Even though the owners of this brand called Olu, they are Nigerians. Do you know why? Your government policy. There is no electricity. There is no standard. Now nothing can work to allow them. There is a market. Market tó wà fún kíní. Kò ń ṣe kékeré rárá. This plantain crisps. Ìwọ tó ń wò mí nílé. The market tó wà fún plantain crisps is in million pounds sterling tó wà lórí ẹ̀. If you are set up properly ni mo mean o, because they have been running potentially the wọ́n ṣe pounded yam, wọ́n ṣe palm wine, wọ́n ṣe some of their produce come from Nigeria, but I am telling you that plantain crisps is coming from Colombia. Why do you think that they have a relationship with Colombia? Kalomo, who knows the reason why? Why do you think that they have ẹja àjókòó nísìn? Kalomo ara lunch fún wa o, àti sọ̀rọ̀ lecturer ti wà nínú class látàárọ̀ ti sanwó lecture tèmi. Kalomo okay, Ayobami, my brother on Instagram, you dey enjoy my program abi? Why do you think as Yoruba man this product is not coming from Nigeria? Why? We have land in Osun State, we have land in Ondo State, we have land in Kwara State, Kogi State, we have a big land in Oyo State, in big land in Ogun State, but we are not producing this in Nigeria. It's in Colombia. How many people saw Colombia? How many people saw the Colombia? How many people are in the classroom? You know, I'm responding now. Somebody say Colombia government made it easy for production. Now imagine, I don't know how much they're selling it presently, but let's say this is sold for roughly, I don't know, but it's less than £1 anyway. So we are probably selling these for probably, let's say, even 60p. The finishing produce is about probably maybe large quantity, so it's about probably maybe 20p. And I'm asking the question, Eyomo Yoruba, only Anjenile, Iyanjenile, Iyagoro jẹ́ tó bá jẹ́ pé product wà nínú Nàìjíríà, ó jẹ́ kí o máa gbádùn product yìí, kó máa jẹ́ kó tún máa lọ ṣiṣẹ́ ní company yẹn. But this company is now taking their produce lọ sí Colombia. How many people can give me the travel time from London to Colombia, and Colombia, I think it's 6 hours to buy lórí Virgin. Nigeria do not have any direct flights. I'm talking about our own airline. There's direct flight, but we don't have our own airline. So my question is, how many hours? Check it. How many hours is it from Colombia to London? Mo fẹ́ wo distance yẹn, àwa lọ wo distance yẹn sí Nigeria. How many hours? How many hours? From Colombia wá sí London by air, how many hours? Because produce yìí Colombia ló ti wá, and àwọn tó dẹ̀ ní, àwọn tí mo mọ̀ dáadáa ni, very reputable organization. I am one of their brand ambassadors. Some 2 years ago, mo kọ̀ renew ẹ̀ money torí ọ̀rọ̀ Yoruba Nation. 8 hours. Ẹ ṣe gan jaya. So imagine 8 hours on the air. So that means that this company traveled to Colombia to negotiate producing these. Let me say, in consequence of it, at least about 2, sometimes, kima exaggerate, can stay 2 40-foot container. Mo ti bá wọn uploaded dáadáa, kò ń ṣe pé èmi ò ń ṣe ọ̀lẹ nílùú yìí. Iṣẹ́ tó bá mọ̀mísí mi máa ń sọ pé iṣẹ́ ló ń pààyàn, iṣẹ́ ò kì í pààyàn, kò lè jẹ́ 5 hours o. 5 hours, ṣé 5 hours ni láti Colombia wá sí UK? Colombia jìn o, wọ́n ní 5 hours, ìyàn kan ní 8 hours. Ẹ bá mi rè check dáadáa again. Kí ni mo fẹ́ fàyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé at least container méjì ló ń dé sí UK pẹ̀lú produce yìí. Container méjì 40 foot. Ó jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, but kí n má exaggerate púpọ̀ torí kẹ́ má bàa sọ pé ẹnu ẹ ti dùn bí a torí ó jẹ́ ambassador of company yẹn ni. No, container méjì ló máa offload. Kí ló dé tí business yìí ò wá sí yẹn kan tún ní 11 hours? Ó gbọ́dọ̀ jí. Colombia jìn gan. But this business was taken to Eshegoni 10 hours, 10 minutes. Colombia, 10 hours, almost 11 hours. Nigeria is 6 hours. But yet, ìwọ jókòó sílé, ó wá ń pe Jésù, ó ń pe Muhammad, ó ń pe Ifá. Business tó yẹ kó wá sí Nigeria kò lè wá sí Nigeria because of the shit up government policy. For them to have this produce in Nigeria producing, there must be constant kò ń ṣe electricity o, constant system tó ń ṣiṣẹ́. Nigeria do not have that constant system. Wọ́n ní láti bribe anybody. As long as they are bringing the produce, they have paid the custom duty and they are making their money. Mo dẹ̀ ti tẹ̀lé wọn jáde, àwọn drivers wọn tó máa lọ ń deliver. A máa ń lọ sí Peckham, a máa ń lọ sí Dustin. Ṣàtẹ̀ máa ń lọ sí Dustin. No, a máa ń lọ sí Peckham, a máa ń lọ sí Lusham. Gbogbo àwọn Asian store yẹn ló ń store ẹ̀. Ọmọ Yorùbá ronú kó jẹ́ kó rí ẹ kó pé àwọn politician yín ó jẹ́ kó máa jẹ́ kí Nigerian businesses cooperate láti Nigeria, kò ń ṣe láti Colombia. Nígbà tá a dẹ̀ ti polówó ẹ̀ bí ẹ̀ ní sí, kò bẹ́ẹ̀ kí n fi sẹ́nu àbí. Gbogbo gram ẹ̀ is 60 gram. Aláta wà, aláta swẹ́swẹ́, eléyìí sweet lélẹ̀. wọ́n tún ṣe different brand o ìwé mi sì torí kò ń ṣe pé ó kún box yẹn o sórí ìwọ wá ń sọ pé ẹ kí la máa jẹ kí la máa ṣe ẹ bá gba Yorùbá nation ẹ ta ló máa ẹlòmíà máa sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ máa sọ̀rọ̀ òpònú mo sọ fún yín pé mi ò kì í ṣe bọ́lẹ̀ kájá media tí bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ because ìlú tí mo gbé èmi àti ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ìjáyàjáyà àti gbẹ̀du àti heritage àti gbogbo àwa alájà ara àti gbogbo àwọn táwọn gbé ní UK because a ti rí inú àtẹ̀dọ̀ UK now mo máa ṣe program kan ilé ni màá ti ṣe yẹn but ẹ̀yin ká béèrè kí ni àwọn business ti UK àti Nàìjíríà jọ ń ṣe ta ló mọ̀ èmi ò mọ̀ so èmi náà fẹ́ kọ́gbọ́n ni o ta ló mọ irú òwò ti business Ayọ̀míkún thank you so much 11 hours so we are right so Colombia to UK is 11 hours and this produce ẹ má bínú ó kọ́ńtì dá tó bá yẹ pé Nàìjíríà ní iyẹ̀pẹ̀ àti wà nínú ẹ̀ kódà wọ́n lè fi nǹkan mí sínú ẹ̀ gan mo kí ìyá mi Sarah oyè lọ́wọ́ nígbà tí ọkàn ra lọ́ǹchì fún mi mo ṣáà mú lọ́ǹchì mi dání so I have about another tó bá di 1 o'clock I end broadcast màá lè máa lọ èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ̀mẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ tán yìí ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ṣe òyìn ní ẹ̀mọ̀ nǹkan ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń jókòó báyẹn màá máa ṣe òyìn báyìí màá lè máa tán kámẹ́rà yẹn níbọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ àṣìṣe. mo fi máa ṣóyìn díẹ̀ díẹ̀ nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ́ máa rí bó ṣe ń lọ díẹ̀ díẹ̀ lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ lọ́hùn mo kàn fẹ́ máa ṣóyìn díẹ̀ díẹ̀ ni o díẹ̀ díẹ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá ronú Nàìjíríà ò kì í ṣe ìlú tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ so a máa ṣọ́ ẹ̀ díẹ̀ díẹ̀ àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yẹn nísìn ẹja get the hell out of Nigeria is not working kò ṣiṣẹ́ fọmọdé Nigeria and UK trading kulikuli ìyá wà ń lé àwọn tó wà ń lé ẹ̀ ń jìyà so àwọn ò ní dákẹ́ a máa sọ fún yín ní gbogbo ìgbà Nigeria has no remedy it has to break nobody ẹ ṣé gan ni ìyá mi Mr. Omowumi thank you don't try to save Nigeria you will end up crying I was reading a post ẹni tó bá lọ sórí social media wa àtòrí YouTube community I posted a woman paid ransom and the husband was still killed by the terrorists. From Heathrow is about 13 hours, 28 minutes. Nigeria is a crime scene and we must let it go. If you say it's not working for anybody. Kò sí pé ẹ tó ń wọ ìlà sójà. Nàìjíríà nìkan ló ti ń dẹ́rù báyìí nípa sójà British sójà wọ́n mọ ara wọn American sójà wọ́n mọ ara wọn ò bá dé fìlà sójà níbí báyìí wọ́n mọ̀ pé mo kì í ṣe sójà everybody náà pé wọ́n mọ̀ pé kò ń ṣe sójà ní mí tó rọrùn Nàìjíríà nìkan ni wọ́n máa ń dẹ́rù báyìí shit whole country it's not working. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní let's save Nigeria o wọ́n ní kí ló dé mo ṣe fẹ́ break up Nigeria wọ́n ní mo ṣe lè fẹ́ jókòó sí UK tí mo fẹ́ break away mo fẹ́ break Nigeria ọ̀rẹ́ ń bọ̀ sorry NUS card mi lélẹ̀ sorry no be bọ́lẹ̀ kájá media. Sorry, National Union of Journalists. Sorry, kí ló ń pè bí wáyé press card Ọláyọmí Koiki journalist So no be Bole Kaja Media, okay? This one no be Bole Kaja Media. Totally. Ìfẹ́ kẹ́ reference number mi ó wà níbẹ̀ sórí. Mo dẹ̀ tún ní ti Koiki tí mo ṣe náà. Sórí ti Koiki lélẹ̀. Sórí mo ṣe máa ń gbé nǹkan mi káàkiri nìyẹn. Torí nígbà mi àwọn mi máa ń fi wà funny. Àwọn ọlọ́pàá mi nígbà tó bá ń ṣe accident bá ṣẹlẹ̀ nísìn tó bá súnmọ́ wọn wá ní no but tó bá ti yọ press card ẹ wá sún sẹ́yìn wọ́n mọ̀ pé lè mọ tó ń ṣe. Mad people all over the place. Orí yóò pè ẹ fi máa fi mí wé àwọn Bole Kaja people tó wà ní Nàìjíríà bá ṣe ń gbé jákèjì wá káàkiri wọn. Nigeria at the verge of breakup. Ẹkúṣẹ́ ẹṣẹ́ gan ni ìyá mi Sarah. Bínú sẹ́yìn tẹ̀ ń ṣe APC. Èmi ò sí pé mò ń bínú sí. No. APC cannot take you anywhere. MC Olúọmọ máa travel tiẹ̀. Ó ní access láti lọ America, láti lọ Japan. Bí a ti wọ̀ náà bó bá ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì fún ẹ wá lọ sí Umrah àbí. So tó bá ti lọ sí Mecca òfin ipò ti arrive. No. Tó bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ àwọn èèyàn wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ nísìnyí nígbà tí ń busy ó ti ń di lunch time. Tó bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ 40 hours o lè ní kọ́ fún ẹ ní extra hours. Tó bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ o lè ra ticket láti lọ Jerusalem fún ẹ o lè lọ Mecca fún ẹ. But ní Nàìjíríà tó bá ti ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì Umrah fún yín àbí hajj ẹni yẹn ti ṣe dáadáa. Mo gbọ́ fídíò kan tẹ́ MC Olúọmọ ṣe ní orí péjì kan lánàá ó ṣàn sọ gbogbo ẹ̀ kábàkábà. Nigeria, let us dissolve it now. So my reason that ṣe ń pẹ́ níbí báyìí a máa ń darúgbó sí ibà dáadáa is because we look after our health. Tó bá rẹ bọ́dì nísìn máa lọ ṣe MOT check ọmọ tó ń pè lẹ́ MOT wá gba blood test mi then tí o bá ti ń dé age kan nílùú yìí tó bá ti ń 40 tó bá ti ń 50 ọmọ máa kọ lẹ́tà sí ẹ wá fún check up but Nigeria check up yín ọ̀dọ̀ onípàrágà lẹ́ máa ti ń ṣe. Ẹlòmíì ò check BP ẹ̀ látijọ́ tó ti bí tó bá wá kú wá ní ìyálé ọ̀nkan ló pa. Health is very very important and a lot of you ẹ̀ ń jẹ proper food. Sórí gbogbo oúnjẹ tẹ́ ń jẹ àwọn adulterated food tẹ́ ń jẹ ní gbogbo búkà yẹn àmàlà ẹgbẹ̀rìgìrì ewédú ẹran míì tẹ́ ń jẹ ẹran èèyàn lẹ́ ń jẹ àti ní kẹ́yẹ́ jẹ màlúù mọ̀. Ẹ ṣé Mrs. Ọmọlára, thank you so much. Àti pariwo títí sórí gbogbo àwọn òyìnbó tó ń wọlé yín yẹn gbogbo wọn tó ń wọlé kò sí tó kàn wọ́n pẹ̀lú tó ń lọ láfíríkà o. Èmi ló máa ń wà sentiment about Africa àwọn náà ní life tiwọn àbúrò mi yẹn nísìn wọ́n ní life tiwọn. Our life is not in Nigeria. Sórí gbogbo àwọn tó wà lókè yẹn tó ń wò yẹn nínú gíláàsì yẹn wọ́n ní life tiwọn. Sórí gbogbo àwọn tó ń lọ lẹ́yìn mi tó ń rí tó ń lọ tó ń bọ̀ yẹn. Let's be honest with ourselves. Another 8 years ẹ lè fix Nigeria o. Election ò lè solve problem o. It's just a deceit. Illusion ni o. Ẹ ṣe Queen Ọmọlára. Mo kí ìyá mi beauty àmọ̀ pé Barika Jimoh fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin Mùsùlùmí tẹ́ wà ní UK. Àwọn kan ò dá sí wọ́n ní kò sí tó kàn wọ́n ní Koiki wo ó kàn fi owó Yorùbá ó kàn fi Yorùbá nation fi pawó. Ok àwọn ọmọ yín àwọn ọmọ tẹbí síbì wá dì pẹ̀lú yín. Irú àwọn ọmọ tèmi nísìsiyìí ti mọ̀ pé Nàìjíríà ò dáa. Ṣé láwọn ọmọ yín yẹn àwọn ọmọ yín tí wọ́n lọ ń wo Wizkid Burna Boy Wizkid Ọlámídé Wizkid ń bọ̀ London ní summer àwa máa lọ protest níwájú bẹ̀ àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́. Those children wọ́n máa sọ̀kò payín ni wàláì kò ń ṣèpè. You know why? Because a British citizen is not a British passport is not their real identity. Having a British passport is not your real identity. Okay? I understand some of them have British passport. They can go to Malaga, they can go to Spain, but they cannot go to your hometown, you know, Osun State or Obiye. Ìyá if you support Yoruba nation, your children cannot go to your village. Your bàbá tó fi support Yoruba nation, your children cannot go to your village. Èmi ni kẹ́ máa bú, àwa ni kẹ́ máa sọ̀rọ̀ sí, but your children knows that their identity is giving them concern. Ṣé náà tó ṣì wà ní under 16, wọ́n lè má ti understand it, but by the time they get to 16, 17, they will come across a video like this. They will curse you for not supporting a movement. Your children will be angry with you. Mo kí ìyàwó àmánà ìjáyà mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi. Àjọ máa ń wá sí Stratford ní màkì ẹ̀gbọ́n mi. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé mò ń bọ̀ ní wọ́n bá ti ní ká pàdé. But then pé sometimes solo lèmi máa ń jàjà solo káàkiri ni. Àwọn fine girls náà wà tó ń lọ tó ń bọ̀. Èyí tẹ́ ń ṣe yahoo lórí Instagram lórí kíní ẹ̀. Àwọn ọmọ London máa wá wọn, Ọlọ́run àjẹ́ orí wọn. But one thing is, if Nigeria was able to be built properly, we would have been able to send our children back home. Ìwọ tó bá lọ́mọ ní Nigeria, bring them back. Tó bá ní right láti padà. Má lọ sọ pé yẹn, o fẹ́ yẹ kó were educated, o fẹ́ yẹ kó learn the culture. Bring them back. Don't waste their energy in that shitty country. So, I'm on my wind down because I need to start moving. I need to be better. Owó labí Razak, ẹ má jẹ́ kí n rẹ́rìn. So, ẹ̀yin ọba, Ọlọ́run ọba adó tiwa, àní ṣe lásán. Yoruba nation for life. A tún lọ ni. A tún lọ bọ́ sínú òtútù. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Máa rántí pé ilé Nàìjíríà lẹ́kọ́ ti máa ṣe, rather Colombia 11 hours away from London lọ ti ń ṣe. So think of that. I gotta start going now. Mo fẹ́ lọ kí màá sí mi. Mo fẹ́ lọ màá sí mi. Àrùn ìjù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Odò á gbé wá. Kò ní gbé ọ̀dàlẹ̀. Bó bá jẹ́ mi náà lọ ọ̀dàlẹ̀, ó máa gbé mi. Tí bá dé ń sọ ọ̀dàlẹ̀, ogun tí bá ń ṣe kó máa prosper. Have a very good afternoon. A padà wá lálẹ́. Àwa ṣe late night. Lálẹ́ lágbára Ọlọ́run. So expect me to be back late night. Have a very good afternoon. Anybody to ban sọ pé what is the way forward? I need èrò ní títì. Kò ń ṣe 200 people, 5,000 people. I need èrò rẹpẹtẹ. Complete total lockdown. That will send a signal to the international community. Bye for now.